Hello, welcome to my Friday's live stream. I'm live here from Singapore. It is Friday morning here in Singapore, and I'm really excited to be here talking about one of my favorite topics once again. So, what am I talking about today? Today I'm going to be talking about getting visible. If you're joining me live, say hello. If you are joining me on replay, hashtag replay. Either will do. And today I want to talk about getting visible as the face of your colour and your styling business, because it's one of those things that's it's really difficult, isn't it? It's hard to be visible. It's hard to put yourself out there, because the minute that you decide to put yourself out there is the minute that you're going to actually be judged, isn't it? The minute you show up as yourself and you start speaking, you are going to be judged. Hello Renee, great to see you. Hello Karen, great to see you. So I think it's one of the biggest hurdles to getting more clients, to be honest. This terrible fear that we are going to be judged and we are going to be found lacking. So this holds us back over and over again in terms of putting ourselves out there and showing the amazing skills that we have. So I'm glad to see that many of you were interested in this topic, and you're here to see how you can get more visible. So I pride myself on being extraordinarily practical, and in terms of giving you practical advice and recommendations rather than being vague. So Renee, great to see you from Memphis, Tennessee, and from New Zealand, and I love to see where people are from and where you're watching from, because it just gives me feedback in terms of there's people on live, and I really love that. It gives me energy. People give me energy. That's what it does. It gives me energy. So oftentimes the live streams are going to be better if you come on live and you talk to me. Come and talk to me, and that's what I want this to be all about. So, are you good at getting visible? So that's the first question I would ask you. Are you good at getting visible, in getting out there in front of people? Or is it something that you find really challenging? Now, when I started my business, I wasn't terribly good at putting myself out there in front of people, because number one, I was really new in the industry and I had very little experience. I had my training, but I didn't really feel confident that I was getting it right all the time. So I was very, very nervous to put myself out in front of people and talk about what I was doing. So that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about my journey, and I want to talk to you about an opportunity that I'm going to provide to you so that you can get visible in a more supportive and safe space, in a space where you're not doing it by yourself. Because I think that's the other thing. We're often in our businesses completely by ourselves. There's no one here. There's no one here with me this morning. My younger son is off school because there's a teacher's development day. But other than that, the majority of the time, I'm kind of here by myself doing my thing. And it's lonely, and sometimes we start to doubt ourselves, and sometimes we start to think, oh, everybody else is able to do this really easy, and it's really difficult for me. But the truth is, getting visible is difficult for everyone, no matter how many times you have done it. Now, for many years, my way of getting visible was doing physical events. So I would turn up at different events, mostly here in Singapore actually, because that's where I lived at that time. I would work with boutiques, I would work with local providers, the different chambers, things like that. And I would physically go to those places, and I would talk about colour, and more often than not I would do a demonstration of colour analysis. And that's the way that I got visible and got in front of people. Now it's done a little bit differently. It's done online, and I think in many ways it's easier and it's harder. I think it's harder because of the tech involved. I think it's harder because we can't control the audience really. Who sees us sees us. Oftentimes it's our relatives, it's our friends, it's our neighbours. It's all the people that we don't necessarily want to see us in this way. We don't necessarily want to see them to be seeing us marketing ourselves as a business. So it can be really, really tricky to get visible online. In a physical setting, it's a little bit easier because obviously you're going to control the audience. Now, I must say, I find it easier to get, well, when I started out, I found it easier, I thought, to be visible anywhere but in front of people. I really was so nervous about standing up in front of a group of people and showcasing what I could do. I was terrified I'd get it wrong. I was terrified that they wouldn't think I looked like a colour consultant. I was terrified that they'd think I was too fat. Isn't that a terrible thing? But that was the truth. I was concerned that people would think she's too fat to be a personal stylist. I was concerned about my accent, what I sounded like. I was concerned that, that people thought I was really salesy and that I was sell all the time. And all of those things are big things, and they hold us back from showing up and showing the best side of ourselves and showing our skills. So that's how I started really. I came from a manufacturing environment where I wore a uniform from head to toe, and then I became an image consultant, and I realized very quickly that I couldn't just sit in my expensive studio and wait for clients to come and find me, because they never did. Additionally, someplace in my mind I thought when I was starting my business there was enough to have a great website, and people would get on my website and they would book my services. But they didn't. Not many people got on my website and booked my services. And then I thought, oh, maybe I need to advertise in magazines. So I advertised in magazines, but unfortunately, people still didn't come, or I would get the odd client here and there. I definitely didn't make enough to pay the rent on the studio I was renting. So I had to get really kind of brave and start to show up at events. And I'll never forget my first event where I was going to show up and I was going to do a colour analysis. It was in a little boutique in Tanglin Mall, which is about 15 minutes from me here. The boutique is still there to this day. And I showed up in front of a group of women and did a demonstration on colour analysis. And that was the first time I really put myself out there in front of people. And it was terrifying. It was really scary. I had no one to bounce ideas off of. There was nobody else really doing it. I had to kind of make it up as I went. I was like physically sick in the toilets before I had to go live. And that was possibly the worst event of my life, but I got through it, and the next time it got easier, and the next time it got easier. And there is no shortcut really. To get visible, you have to brave quite a few things and just put yourself out there. So that's what I did, and I got better at the physical events. You know, over time I had a routine. You know, I would talk about the same things. I made it my mission to, you know, meet everyone before I started my talk. I was as helpful as possible, but it was slow. That way of getting in front of people was really slow in a way, because it was whoever turned up on the day. There was no videoing at the time, there was no replays, there was no way to send it out to the audience afterwards. So oftentimes it was slow, it was laborious, it was really, really hard work to get visible and to get clients. So oftentimes those clients that came to my talks, they would turn up and they would watch the event, and some of them would give me their email addresses, and over the next 6 months to a year, probably 1 or 2 of them would trickle in and they would book a service with me. Again, not enough to pay the rent. There was not enough to pay the rent. So now we have this amazing opportunity with technology, with Zoom, with social media, to be visible much more quickly and to many more people. But many people are still really struggling to get visible because it's hard. I know how hard it is. When I restarted my business in about 5 to 6 years ago, it's about 6 years ago now, in France, the first thing I had to do was to start putting myself on social media. Now, I didn't start with video because I was too terrified to do that. I started just by posting posts. And then I got a little bit braver because I realized people wanted to see who I was, they wanted to hear me speaking, they wanted to see my expertise, but it took a while to build it up. And it's difficult to do it by yourself. So today what I wanted to talk to you about is an opportunity to do it with group support and with the support of me. To get more visible. So what I have been talking about now for maybe 2 weeks now is a colour analysis challenge. A colour analysis challenge where personal stylists from around the world do an event together. Now this event can be, you know, a little local event, or it can be an online effort, or it can be a combination of both. So this colour analysis challenge is the first of its kind, and it is to see if we can create a world record, a Guinness World Record for the most amount of colour analysis consults done in an hour. And the idea is to raise awareness for colour analysis and the amazing services we provide, but also to allow personal stylists around the world who are starting out or who are more established to get more visible in front of their audience with the support of a community and other personal stylists and myself. So that's really what I want to talk about this morning. Renee's saying, now that sounds fun. That's exactly the kind of response that I love, Renee. That was definitely my response when I heard it first, because sometimes it's just doing things by yourself can be so boring. It really can be boring. It can be intimidating. Maybe you feel like I don't have the confidence to do it by myself. So what I'm doing is I'm providing you an opportunity to start getting more visible, kind of from a group environment. So let me tell you how this will work, and I would love to hear your questions because it is going to be the first event of its kind. I am hoping that we will once we create the record this year, I would like to break the record next year. But one of the ways that I got my first clients and I built my business was by doing events, physical events, and later through events like this. What I'm doing this morning is actually an event. It is a talk and it is an event, and it means that I am getting out there in front of you guys. You can see me, you can hear me, and it's visible. It's actually visible, and people want to see that so that they feel more confident to come and work with you. So basically what I plan to do is it's an event that's going to happen on the 20th to the 21st of November. I'm inviting stylists from all over the world. I don't care who has trained you. That's the other thing. You don't have to have trained with me. It's about all of us getting together and supporting each other, because the other belief that I have is that there is enough business for all of us. There is billions of people out there that could benefit from a colour analysis, yet we are all terrified that there's not enough clients out there. There is loads and loads and loads of clients out there, and you can be booked solid, but one of the things that you absolutely need to do is to get visible. You can have the most beautiful website, you can look really beautiful, you can have the most amazing services, but if you're not visible, if people don't see you, they are not going to be booking you. So with this event, we're going to raise the overall profile of colour analysis. We're going to give you the opportunity to get more visible. So we're hoping to generate quite a lot of publicity around the event. And there's two ways you can do it. What I would love people to do, if you feel brave enough, is to create a little event in your area. So I'll explain to you how I'm going to do that. So here in Singapore, I'll either work with a venue or I'll do it here in my house. It doesn't really matter where you congregate the other personal stylists. I'm going to invite some people, they can be friends, to come and get a complimentary colour analysis. I think it has to be complimentary to get people in. This is a marketing event. It's not about, selling on the day, though some people might book in with you and want to get a full colour analysis. And I will be doing some training around that so that you can give people the incentive to come back and work with you. And I'll definitely be providing training in a support group to show you how I would do it if I was going to invite people back to work with me. So in Singapore, I'm going to create a little event. I'm going to invite some stylists. They're going to invite some people to colour code. And we're going to video ourselves colour coding these people. I'll probably provide some refreshments, some snacks. It's probably going to be a really nice, fun event. I'm going to video that as evidence that I did it. I'm going to be live streaming to make sure that people know I'm doing this. I'm going to be getting visible. And I will be hoping that other consultants around the world will also want to live stream and get visible. We'll be putting pictures up there. I will be providing little templates where you can put your portrait picture in it, saying that you're participating in creating this world record, and you're going to be doing this on this particular day. So the idea is that we create a lot of noise and excitement around colour analysis. You have stuff to post on social media, and you're doing it in a supportive environment. So what I plan to do is I plan to set up a Facebook support group where all the consultants who have joined the challenge are going to be on there. I'm going to be doing training coming up to the event. I'll be talking about how I will be doing it. I'll be talking how you can do it if you're doing it on Zoom, if you're going to do online instead of an in-house event. I'm going to be talking about how you could potentially upsell from what you're doing. And additionally, and this is truly exciting and it's truly an opportunity, I will be allowing the consultants who have signed up to the challenge to bring pictures of their client to the group, which I and the other consultants in there will help you code. So that if you're starting out and you're a little bit nervous, but what if I get it wrong? You will have that support that I can help you just before you go and you actually do it live, if that's the kind of support and help that you would find helpful. So I would love to know your thoughts on that so far. Does that sound something like that would help you in your business? Does that sound like something that will give you more confidence to get out there and be more visible to your ideal clients when you start seeing how other consultants do it around the world? Now, you might find that we're going to get the whole range of people. I think you're going to get people who are really comfortable to get visible, and I think you're going to get people who are just starting out or who are very, very nervous about being visible. And what I'm saying is I'm here to support you all. It doesn't matter if you're super duper confident to get visual, or it's something that you're really slow. So Karen is saying sounds fun and terrifying at the same time. So I'm acknowledging that, Karen. I'm acknowledging that it is nerve-wracking for a lot of people. Do you think, Karen, it would be a lot easier if you were doing it with the support of me and the support of the other consultants around you? And to begin with, Karen, I would suggest that, you know, if it's nerve-wracking for you, you just do one person to begin with. So you just do one person. It can be a friend. It can be a friend rather than an unknown person. Karen's saying yes, absolutely, brilliant. That's what I want. I want consultants who have been really, really terrified to go and be visible. This is the perfect event for you. There will be people who will get a huge group of people and they will colour code them all and they will be in their absolute element. There will be people who are just going to do one colour analysis, but you're all contributing to creating this record. And it's going to get colour analysis on the map, and it also means that we have a record to break next year. So I'm truly excited about this event, and I want you guys to be excited about it too. Renee is saying, sounds fun, sounds like it could work well and maybe a kick in the pants. Exactly, it's the start of something. And I think we cannot underestimate the power of community, and I really understand this as I get older, that it's way easier to do something in a group than it is to do it one-on-one. It really is way easier. That, and I just found out today that a friend from high school just went and paid someone. Shame on me for not talking about it. Yeah. So that is the problem. People will go to somebody else if they don't know about you. That's what actually happens. They go to other people and get their colours done, when in actual fact they could be coming to you. But people will go to the people that they see, they like, they trust, they're turning up every day, you know, they're perceiving the person that they're going to as an expert. She may not even know, Renee, that you do colour analysis or understand that you do colour analysis. So I think it's super, super important to get yourself out there in front of people, and this is one of the ways that I know that you can do it in a very safe environment. So for instance, Renee, if you wanted to invite one of your friends to do a colour analysis, you could get their pictures up front. You can bring them to the support group for the event, and we can colour code her and make sure you're really confident to talk about what season or tone or what flow she is, because I work with pretty much all the systems. So we can work out in your system which designation she is, so that when you're doing it live you feel a lot more confident. And don't forget, it's not streamed live. You can stop the video and start again anytime. You know, it's not as if we're going to be streaming it live. All you need is video evidence. So what that will mean is, like, say for instance I decide I'm going to do an event here at my house at 10 a.m. on the 20th of November. Now we have to pick a time zone and stick to the time zone, and we have to stick to the 24 hours. So I would invite my friend over, I would do her colour analysis, I would make sure I video it, and then we just need somebody to witness that you did it. That's enough to submit your colour analysis as one of the numbers for the record. Renee said no, she probably did not know, because I've only done 1 or 2 a year in the last years. I used to do a few hundred a year in the 90s. Wow! So Renee, you can definitely get yourself back out there. Karen said, I'm just about to retrain in the Susan Cahill system. Will this work? Previously trained in the seasons. So, to me, Karen, it's more important that you feel confident. So if you feel confident in the seasons, that's enough. That's brilliant. You can just do seasonal colour analysis. You can do the 4 seasons. You can do the flow system within the seasons. You can do tonal. It doesn't really matter. I think what's really important is that you feel confident. So if there's stylists out there and they're working with the 4 seasons, I think that's brilliant. I think it's absolutely adequate to do it on the Four Seasons. You do not have to get really complicated about this. Oftentimes we are very focused on what other colour consultants think, but we have to bear in mind that our clients probably have no clue. They have no clue about systems. They just want to know the colours that look great on them. That's what they want. They want to know the colours that look great on them. And all the systems work. That's what I know for sure. All the systems work. But what I do see a lot of, unfortunately, is that when consultants are trained on more complicated systems, oftentimes they never move beyond the training stage because they never feel confident that they're getting it right. So I just think keep it simple, keep it, within something that you feel you can put your hands around and that you don't feel like, oh my God, I'm not sure with this and I'm not sure it's going to work. So, there are hundreds of systems, Karen. I've seen so many systems. I train consultants, retrain consultants many times in different systems, and honestly, it all boils down to the same thing. What are the group of colours that suit a person? Are they cool? Are they warm? Are they soft? Are they muted? Are they deep? Whatever. It all comes down to the same things. Like I could be, a cool summer in one system. I could be a summer in another system. I could be just cool in the tonal system. There's just so many different ways and so many different systems. All of that doesn't matter. What really matters is you want to get confident, because if you don't feel confident, you're never going to get visible. That's the big problem. If you're not confident, you're not going to be visible. So my whole effort in this is to make you guys confident so that you can record your video and we can enter it for the record. So I know there's only a couple of you live because of the time I go live now, but I'm going to put the link into the comments right now so that you can go in there and you can register if you're interested. I think for some reason the link is coming up as a big black splotch on the comments, so you shouldn't miss it. But I think the support group will ease a lot of your terror, Karen, because you will get to ask questions. I will be doing training in there. I will be answering everybody's question who is anyway nervous about doing the event, because I don't want you to be nervous. I want you to have fun. Some of the best fun that I've had in my life is around colour analysis events, because everyone loves it. It's such a fun event. And it's such a great way to get your message out there to the world about what you do. So I've put the link in there. I'm encouraging you to sign up. And as I said, you don't necessarily have to form a group. I would love if you formed a group. That would be amazing. I think you'll get even more publicity if there's a couple of personal stylists in your area and they're willing to come and do it at your house or at an event or something like that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. You can do it solo as well, and there'll be many people around the world doing it solo. If you are interested to know, is there other personal stylists in your area doing it, that'll be something that we can ask in the support group as well. So you'll be in there with all the other consultants who are doing it, so you can ask if there's any around in your area that the two of you could do together, or four of you could do it, or six, or however many of you there are. There are going to be people signing up, as I said, who feel really confident about this, and there's lots of people who are going to be signing up who are not going to feel so confident about it. And that's fine, because we have to feel the fear and do it anyway. It was one of the first books I read by, I can't think of her name now, Susan Jeffries. It was called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. There are many things in our business that we have to feel the fear and do it anyway. I definitely wasn't able to get on here live and do something like this when I started online 5 years ago. I would have been just too nervous, but I built it up over time. I felt the fear and I did it anyway. I wouldn't have been able to create an event like this 5 years ago online because I would just have been so afraid of the tech involved. That doesn't scare me anymore because I've been doing it. I've been putting myself out there and I've been doing it. And you can too. You can do it too. So, any other questions for me, I would be very, very happy to answer you. I know that many of you will be asking me about, can I do an online consult and would that work? Because I have trained many consultants in online colour analysis. That absolutely works. You just have to record the session and have the online consult within the 24-hour time frame. Have the actual consult within the 24-hour time frame. Everyone will get a certificate, and there's just going to be a lot of publicity, and it's going to be really great. I will definitely be featuring the people who are joining the challenge and participating in the challenge in my social media. I'll be encouraging other consultants to do the same, so we create quite a bit of buzz about the event on social media and get eyes on the services that we provide. So that's really what I wanted to talk to you about this morning. I wanted to talk to you about the opportunity to get visible in the next couple of months. There's more than 50 days left till the challenge. You've more than enough time to arrange what needs to be arranged. Like literally, just ask a friend, would you like to come over and do a colour analysis at my house on this particular day? And we can have some fun, and I need to record it as part of this challenge. That's it. That's basically all you need to do. Or if you have an overseas family member and you want to do an online colour analysis for them, you totally can as well. If you've done somebody's colours already and you want to do their colours again, absolutely fine. That's totally fine. You can do that too. Now, I would say there's no set time, but the colour analysis should be at least 20 minutes. You don't want something shorter than 20 minutes. You want to do either online or offline draping. You want to, what equipment do you need? Okay, so I would say that if you're doing a physical colour analysis, you're going to need your drapes. Let me grab my drapes here. Oh, so these are very old drapes. These are the very first drapes I got 20 years ago. So you need a set of drapes. So that could be physical drapes like these, or it could be the digital drapes. And I do have a digital starter pack with drapes that you can use for 47, I think it is, which is the 4 seasons, and that will get you started, no problem. So you can do it with physical. That's it really, and then an iPhone and some way to record you actually doing the consult. So you can put it on a shelf, or I have a tripod, but you can put it on a shelf and just get it to record you doing the actual colour analysis. That is it. That's the only equipment that you would actually need. You don't need anything more sophisticated than that. Now, if you're doing it online and you're doing it through Zoom, I presume that you will have done it already if you are going to do an online consult. So you just record it. You just record your Zoom, which I encourage my clients to do anyway, because they oftentimes send the recording to the client who's interested in having it. So you just record the online consult as you do it, and that comes with a timestamp. So having some way of verifying the timestamp. So it's the same on your iPhone. The file probably has a time and a date on it, and that will be really important, because we need that as evidence that you actually conducted the consult. So, and that's it pretty much. There is an official form that somebody needs to witness that you have done this. It can't be a family member, so that's the only thing. So you might have to invite 2 friends over, one to do the colour analysis. Actually, I would recommend you do the colour analysis on both of them, and then maybe one to witness that you did it, and swap over, one to witness that you actually did it. So there's very little requirements actually It's just more about doing it in the 24-hour time slot, and then evidence that you've actually done it. We don't apply for the record until after the event. But I am doing it in conjunction with Castlebridge Ireland, which is actually the home place of the Guinness Book of Records. I have a friend who is heading up a project there. So we will get a certificate from Castlebridge Ireland as well if we participate. And those certificates will be held in County Wexford in Ireland if you ever pass through, where you can go and you can actually see those records, or you can also get a copy of your record. So it's going to be really fun. We're hoping that if we can get enough people in a group in Ireland, in Castlebridge, that we will get media coverage in Ireland. You may be able to get media coverage in your country. Maybe I'll be able to get media coverage here in Singapore. It's all about who's going to join and how it's going to happen. And Renee said, "This is fabulous and I'm so excited. I'm glad I tuned in." Brilliant! Great, Renee. So Renee, off the bat right now, Renee, do you think you'll do it solo, or do you think you'll do it in a group? Do you think you'll do one colour analysis, or do you think you'll do several? Have you any concern about how you're going to do it? I'd love to answer that question if I could. So just let me know here if this is something that it seems a little bit hard to you, or it's something you can totally do. I'd love to know. So yeah, that was the equipment. So that is Karen's question answered. I bring my drapes everywhere with me. I really only do colour analysis, physical colour analysis anymore for my friends and my family. But I do a lot of online colour analysis because I teach colour analysis. So Karen said solo for me. Brilliant, Karen. I'd love to have you. I really would love to have you. And as I said, if you know already who you're going to code, you can bring that person to the support group, and we'll all help make sure that you are very confident before you actually go do the draping, that you're going to be able to do it. So that was my idea for today. We have some time, but I would love to start getting you guys signed up so that I can start putting groups together, or letting you know about who else is doing it in your area. Renna said, "Oh, I would want to do several if possible. I know a few other colour consultants in the area. I would like to chat with you a little for sure." Brilliant, excellent, Renee. That sounds really good. I'd be very happy to chat with you. I haven't set up the support group yet, but I will be doing it over the weekend. So, once we get that support group up and running, I think we can all chat to each other all the time. We can chat about how we're going to do it. We're going to chat about, how we can support each other. We can chat about how we can market ourselves, and how we can make the most of this event. So truly excited. I'm so glad that I turned up live this morning and was visible myself, because I am able to now get started on this amazing event. So if you haven't already, get in there, sign up for the event, and we will take it from there. Any questions you have, I'll be totally up for getting on a Zoom and answering those questions in a group. So I will provide training, I will provide help for anyone who is stuck with the idea of how do I do this, or any question at all. No question is too silly. So with that, I want to say thank you to the people who joined live. Thank you to the people who are watching it on replay. Hashtag replay if you're watching it on replay. If you have any questions whatsoever about the event, you can still put them in the comments if you're watching on replay, and I'll be happy to go in there and answer them. Once you're signed up for the event, you will get a notification email with a bit more details. I will be drip feeding information out over the next few weeks. I'll be setting up the support group and everything that goes along with it. So it should be great fun. We're all doing something we totally love. We're raising the profile of colour analysis, and we're raising the profile for ourselves. So have a think about that, and I can't wait to see you in the group. Take care and have a wonderful week end ahead. Bye. Bye, everyone.